Alright, today I have here with me Faiket. He's known as the Mr.Bean impersonator, but today I'm interviewing him because I think his life is very interesting. I know a little bit about him, but I don't know everything. So I think it's the first time you and me will be understanding a lot of things about him. So Janice, who is helping me with the video, has prepared some very good questions for Mr. Faiket. But before we start, how do you feel today, mate?
Oh, it's a great day, man.
Okay.
And thank you for coming all the way to conduct this interview.
It's my pleasure.
And it's my honor.
For the warm reception. So first of all,
yes.
What I find interesting about you is you are actually an Albanian.
Yes.
But you have been in Malaysia for more than 25 years.
That's right.
Can you talk a little bit of your journey? Like, how did you end up in Malaysia? Why did you come here?
Sure. Well, I came here basically in December 1992. Came here to study as a student. My parents managed to give me $200 pocket money. Half of it ended up buying a bicycle. So if you were in KL back in 1993 and you see two idiots on a bicycle, on highways and all this, probably it's me and my best friend.
Okay.
As a student, right? So we just want to have fun and going around by bicycles. And so that's how my journey started in Malaysia as a student. I graduated in the year 2000, all right, with a lot of dreams, aspirations, wanted to be in business, wanted to make a difference, right? Brought my parents in Malaysia as well to stay with me back then. And but somehow, when after graduation, I was doing some businesses, right? First it was good, then it went down. It's like a roller coaster ride kind of thing. And went back to employment, okay, for many years. And I was not a very good employer, not very good in terms of employment. And what shall I say? During the final year of my studies, very important fact, I met the most beautiful Malaysian girl, which is my wife. You have met her before, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Olivia. Yeah, she studied law. I studied mass communication. So totally different fields. We are totally opposite of each other. But I think that's what glue us together pretty well until today. And so she became a lawyer. So I went into sales and marketing in my jobs. Still trying to do my part-time business, like network marketing. And it was just a roller coaster ride. But what really happened is a major turnaround happened in our lives in 2003, which is also part of this book which I've written, which is actually part of our spiritual journey in life. And so a major change happened in 2003. And by that time, we were already so-called drowning in credit card debts. You use credit card. I saw one of your posting, your credit card, right? So
2003.
2003 already in quite a bit backstage already.
So it only took you 3 years from graduation to being in serious
So
debt.
started accumulating debts already, buying things, buying things we didn't need, buying watches we didn't need, buying massage chairs, you name it, And so the debts started accumulating, all right. It went to a stage that was about 300,000 ringgit credit card debts. So didn't know what to do. My wife already practicing law for like 7 years. And then after that, from litigation lawyer, she got an offer. She became a banker. All right. I call her legal along, collection department. So so that was the journey. But then in 2003, we did some major decisions spiritually as well. And so what happened is we were still in debts, and actually the debts got worse. Okay?
Because it's credit card debt, 300,000.
300,000.
But how do you get 300,000 credit card debt?
Well, you can if you hold at least 10 credit cards and you maximize all the cards.
And every card you get 30,000 limit.
More or less, yeah.
This was back in 2000. So
oh yes. So
300,000 is a lot of money. It's
slow.
like $1 million today.
Yeah. So it started slow, but it started to go up,
So, can I ask, the 300,000, is it that including your interest or just based on what you bought?
Just based on when you see your balance there and you combine it together, it'll be like 300,000. It was funny one day because part of our journey was we like investing in properties, right? And there was one particular project, they wanted to buy 2 units. and we met with one of the negotiators, right, who also arranges the bank loan. And he looks at our credit, he says, okay, fine, I see your income is not bad, but he says, you have this kind of credit card debts and you want to apply to get loan for 2 properties at one go. He said, how are you going to do that? How can I go and do that, you know? So we were at that stage, you know. We were crazy in debt, but we were so crazy about our dreams. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, the situation is bad, but we still never let go of what we wanted in life. So yeah, property investment was like one of our life dreams, you know, no matter how, we cannot let go. And it happened, okay, which is a miracle, it's another story for another time, but it happened. Even the guy got shocked. He said, the banks approved your loan.
Okay.
So it was crazy. And yeah, so it started with that kind of situation, from the student life to doing some part-time businesses. And then we started flipping properties with my wife, buying properties mainly from developers, right? Property developers. Once it's completed, 2-3 years down the road, those which were good for us to stay, we stayed there for a while. And then when the market price was right, we just sold it. Some properties was for rent. So we easily flipped more than 10 properties in 7 years, which was a fantastic journey. I usually don't brag about it, but thank God that through that kind of investment, I can say, which we have the proof basically in black and white because of the sales and purchase agreements, right? We make our first million in Malaysia through property investments, you know, which is great actually, which is great. We still love properties, we're still looking for opportunities. But what happened is, because you introduced me as Mr. Bean Impersonator, right? What happened about 7 years ago with our spiritual father, we were on a business trip. Not business trip, it's like a casual trip, spiritual trip, whatever you call it. We went to Bali for holiday actually. It's about 20 of us. And in one of the tourist spots, there was this little drawing of Mr. Bean. But the artist was not there, but the drawing was there. You know, and all the while, once in a blue moon, someone will tell me, hey, certain expressions, right, you look like Mr. Bean. I'm like, okay, I never pay attention, you know. You know, Mr. Bean character, right? It's the opposite of someone who wants to look cool, someone who wants to be a consultant, or someone who wants to be an investor, or someone who wants to be a trainer. Bean lah, you know, he's a weird fellow, he's a kid in an adult body kind of thing. So anyway, so cut the story short, I went to this particular drawing and just made a Bean expression next to it, you know. So all our friends started taking photos. They say, hey, don't move, you look like Mr. Bean. Suddenly the tourists also came. You know, they said, hey, sir, stay a bit longer. And they started taking photos. So to me, it was just something for fun, forgot about it. But on the same day, during dinner, my spiritual daddy, my spiritual father, called me aside and said, you know what, you should do this Mr. Bean business. I'm like, what? He said, don't worry. He said, God will bless you and God will show you the way. He said, Mr. Bean business, how to do? He said, you just don't worry. He said, you just go by faith. And that's how the journey started. You know, I came back to KL and one thing led to another. Somehow everything was arranged. And I even had my first show actually, if I remember correctly, in Penang. Okay? And from there, of course, Klang Valley, a lot of shows. And the second best city of shows is your place, Johor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most of my shows after KL will be mainly Johor. I don't know, for whatever reason. So that's why I go very often in Johor for Mr. Bean shows.
And this, you do not promote it, it comes from referrals?
Mainly from referrals and mainly from event companies and agents who run events. Yeah, so when they introduce their services to clients, of course, part of their talents, they'll have a Mr. Bean guy or Mr. Bean lookalike guy as part of their menu, you know. Yeah. So that's Mr. Bean side. We also have our company, Faiket Productions, as you can see from the t-shirt. It started actually when I started the Mr. Bean, but it was just like nothing much until I managed to convince my wife to join me in business.
What was she doing before this?
Because she was in the bank. Remember, after 7 years, litigation lawyer.
And she's still in the bank?
Then she went to the banking industry. So she was there for like 8 years.
And, okay, 8 years.
And about, about 4 years ago, she came out and joined me in the business. And that's where our Faiket production services expanded and we do a lot of things nowadays.
And what do they include?
You mean our company? Oh, okay, Faiket Productions, we do things like, well, what I tell my client is, imagine us as a agency which create your marketing funnel. That means we take care of your social media or whatever you can do on digital, even when it comes to content, video production, creatives, lead generations. But we also handle the ground event. For example, like even just when we do previews, right? When you do your seminars, yes, you can generate leads online, but end of the day, you need people to come and attend the class, right? So most of our clients are in the same position. Because of their products and services, they need people to go and attend, whether it's a workshop or whether it is a property. Most of our clients are property developers. So people need to go to a sales gallery and experience the show units and stuff like that. So we do the whole marketing funnel for them, from lead generation to bringing the targeted market to their sales galleries. So that is the forte of Faiket Productions, and we have been doing it pretty well for the past 4 years.
And do you put in Mr.Bean as part of the package?
Only when it is required, not necessary. Not necessary. Mr.Bean works very well when the target market is families. Why? Because you are tackling easily 3 generations with one character. All right? Because the grandfather, grandmother will know Mr.Bean, the mother, father will know Mr.Bean, and the kids are still watching the Mr.Bean cartoons versions. So the character is still very fresh in their mind. So one character literally tackles the whole family household. So for events which the target is families, yes, we use Mr.Bean as a crowd puller. Correct.
Okay. Very interesting sharing.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else to add before I ask you more questions? Because throughout your stories, I have a lot of places that I want to dig deeper.
I talked too much, did I?
No, it's good. It's good that, I interview someone that tell me everything so I can just sit and relax.
Okay.
And then I just think, which part do I want to ask more? And
yeah, but basically that's about it. Okay, somebody might have this question in mind. What happened to the 300,000 debts?
Yes.
Right or not? To be very frank, again, as I said, the property investment actually was one of the properties, the profit which we earned actually helped us to wipe out the credit card debts. Yeah.
It was your first property?
No. It's somewhere in between.
Also, even when you are flipping the first 2 properties,
we are still in debts. Yeah, we are still in debts.
You're still rolling it.
Yes.
And you chose not to pay the credit card first.
We paid little, but not fully. It was one time we did pretty well, but somehow that's something about life. I put in my book here. I don't mind just jumping into it and just saying it. I call this uncensored truth about money. But the subtitle is a tricky one. Okay, it says a journey from the curse of poverty. You see, when you read a word like curse, it's something spiritual already. It's not purely something that I did this, I got this, or because I did good, I got good. I did bad, I got bad. Like they call it sowing reaping kind of law. But when you see something like a curse of poverty, then it's something beyond natural or beyond your control sometimes. So there were many things that we did. I mean, I can't say my wife is a stupid lady. She's top students from primary school, secondary, top. She got scholarship to study. I was not so smart, okay? Different story altogether, because I come from ex-communist country. So it was not about smartness or what, But again, not that stupid to make these kind of decisions. But there was something which we realized later on in life that, my goodness, there is such thing as probably a curse, whatever you call it in your belief system, But it was working in us, and we didn't recognize it until someone pointed to us that, yeah, you can do all the right things and still something is not right with your life because of this. So when we discovered that, right, when we adjusted and shifted a few things in life, everything turned into place. So to answer that question, yes, we were still doing property investments, but we were still not able to clear debts because this wrong thing was happening in our life.
Okay, and you know what? I think we can explore even the faith element in this video. But before we continue, I think all of you should go ahead and get this book. I put down the link below. You can go and grab this book if you want to read it and understand his entire story and what does it mean. So, I have many more stories, but since we are on this topic, can you elaborate more on curse of poverty? Because my usual interview runs for 1.5 hours.
Okay.
So we can go deep.
Interesting. Okay.
Do you have the time? Are you in a hurry?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good. As I was trying to tell you guys, okay, there was one point in my life, okay, I studied, right? So I graduated the year 2000. And then looking for opportunities, all right, big dreams and all this. Was very happily doing my network marketing business. I was so happy, especially during my student days.
Yeah, can you mention what is the name of the network marketing company?
Okay, I started with, because they have changed names by now, and I don't know which name they're using now, but at the time was Enrich International,
Okay.
a US-based company dealing with
Okay.
health products.
Okay.
And the reason why I got into that was because I was very unhealthy. Okay, I used to have very bad sinus, you know, and if you change environments for me easily, aircon, no aircon, cold, hot, I will start sneezing non-stop, you know, and the running nose and all this. So the sinus was like a daily problem for me. So when someone introduced me to this particular opportunity of network marketing where you can earn money and take care of your health at the same time, I'm like, wait, this is good for me, man. And it helped with my health a lot. It helped me a lot. But at the time that I was introduced to this, right, talking about opportunities, yeah, because as a student, I didn't have enough money to survive. So one of my first jobs in Malaysia was in a petrol station back in 93, 94, right? And I was paid very well. You know how much? For 1 hour?
$3?
I wish you were my boss.
I
I was paid 1 ringgit 20 cent
okay.
per hour.
Okay.
Per hour. So it's like every time between classes, after classes, we will run, because it's like, you remember I bought bicycle when parents gave me $200. So $100, we bought a bicycle, me and my best friend. So we have a bicycle already, so we don't depend on, those days, the mini buses, the crazy mini buses in KL. Huh?
And back then when you have a bicycle, it's considered what, luxury? Like,
it is, for me it was.
But to others? Your peers?
For my peers, in a way, yes.
Wow, okay.
But it's also a risk-taking because in Malaysian roads, on a bicycle is not very safe.
Back then?
Especially back then. So from the uni to go to the petrol station by our cycling was like 5 minutes. So imagine after class, cycle to the petrol station and you count the time to get paid 1 ringgit 20 cent per hour. So that's how we started. That's how I get extra money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one of the customers who came actually, some people ask me why 5Cat.
Yeah.
Okay. It was funny because we have regular customers who always come to the petrol station, right? And they see these two students happily working, and we used to sing and dance, play our Albanian songs in the petrol station.
Oh, your friend is Albanian as well?
Yes, my best friend. And
so both of you came together?
Actually, it was many of us who came, about 50 of us who came.
As what? Student exchange program?
Yes, students. No exchange, just students program.
Okay.
Yeah. And so what happened is, one of the customers, they just, every time they came to the petrol station, they could never remember my name. It's like every time they see me, what's your name again? What's your name again? I'm like, Faiket. And some will mispronounce it, which can be something very weird. We won't go into that in this video. But then one Malay family, lovely Malay family, they came in and said, now I know how to remember your name. I'm like, how? And remember, I don't know Bahasa anything back then, right? He said, your name is Lima Kucing. I'm like, what? What is Lima Kucing? What Lima Kucing got to do with 5Cat? It's like night and day, He said, oh, because Lima Kucing means Lima, 5. Kucing is cat, so 5Cat. So it became like my nickname, So what's your name, or easy way to remember? Lima Kucing, 5Cat. So, which leads to the company name, years later on, right? When it's like, what to use for company name? Easy to remember. 5Cat. Alright, so easy to remember. Another customer who came, Malaysian, this Chinese guy, Raymond, good buddy of mine. Raymond, if you are watching, God bless you, man. Fantastic guy, right? He used to come in his BMW there in the station. Look at me, I'll clean his, windscreen those days. Those days, no self-service. There was somebody who would always serve you in a petrol station. So we take care of the customers. What do you want? Diesel, leaded, unleaded petrol, all this customer service protocol, right? And this guy pulled me aside. He said, I think you have potential to do business in Malaysia. I'm like, okay, what is it? And that's how I got involved in network marketing.
Raymond was your top line.
Correct. And he still does. He's still one of the top guys who does network marketing. Yeah, he's great at that. And we started with Enrich. I went to another company. I followed him to another company. It was a great journey. Actually, through that kind of events in network marketing, I was exposed in 1998. Okay,
that was very pioneer.
National Achievers Congress.
Oh, okay.
That was the first time I saw live and took photo with Brian Tracy,
Wow.
right, back in '98. You know, the chicken soup series guy, Mark Victor Hansen. I saw the Guinness Book of Record car salesman, George Girard, the guy
What
who
was
sold...
your age back then? Like 22, 23?
Yeah, because I came here was like 18 to 19, so 18, 19, another 7 years. Yeah, about 24.
So must be like an eye-opener.
Oh my goodness,
like,
that was like crazy, you know, to see, you know, the crowd went crazy, and to see these speakers, and most of them who came from nothing, from zero, and how they make it in life, become best-selling authors, and
The American
amazing,
dream.
amazing, the American dream, exactly. And I'm like, wow, it's like, can that happen even here in Malaysia? You know,
So
and I
that-
think
that-
you are also a testimony of that.
that became your inspiration.
Oh yes, yes, definitely.
So before this, you never thought of those things? You
I
were just-
thought of it.
Okay.
Yes, I thought of it. I thought of it even during my student days. But that particular event was like sealing it and like giving it chopped, sealed, and delivered.
This is what I want in
This
life.
is what I want. Yeah, exactly, in life. Correct, correct.
May I ask, how was your childhood? Because you seem like a happy person to me, and you say you were singing in the petrol station.
Very
everything.
interesting. There are some things I can't reveal in this video through the childhood. But all I can say is this. I'm the only child in the family. All right. I still have my lovely parents back home. All right. I was a very this much I can say. I was a very mama boy. Very attached to my mom. Okay. I was not a risk taker, not an adventurer. Every step is like, Mom, can I do this? Mom, can I do that? Typical mama boy. Very spoiled by my parents, and yeah, not adventurous at all. All right. So even for this major step to leave my country,
That's big.
wow, that was, my goodness. What word can I use, man? Tragedy, seriously. It's like tragedy in a good sense or in a bad sense. I don't know how you take it, but that was major because I could never leave my home. And you have to imagine, this was a time that at that time in Malaysia, right, because we are a communist country, I have friends of mine, you know, who from the same school, same background, and they just took a step, you know, a risk, and they just go to the neighborhood, you know, like some of them go to Greece, which is south of Albania. Some of them just jump on a boat and go to Italy. No documentations, no passports, nothing. It was this flood of us
Ow.
going out, you know, just leave the country for better life. And I was looking at these things going on. This was a major news, you know, breaking news all over Europe, you know, that Albanians are just flooding the Italian shores, you know, and even in Greece, you know, and people went during winter, some were dying along the way in mountains just to go to the next country for a better life. So it was during this season, I'm looking at all this going on, I'm like, I'm even scared to step out of my house, you know, typical mama boy. And then this opportunity came, you know, to travel the other side of the world, all the way to Malaysia, you know. So, yeah, it was a major challenge. So, for me to adopt to the Malaysian culture was, of course, something totally unexpected.
And you were what age when you?
18 to 19, because, yeah, I'm January boy, so I came here in December, I'm 18. So, by January, I'm already 19-year-old. So, let's say 19-year-old when I came, you know. So, it's the first country outside of my country.
And do you speak English well before?
No. I couldn't speak English. That was another weak point of me.
So you had to learn, like when you
From
come,
scratch.
you can't speak any.
Well, I
local
knew
language, right?
this much. You know, my worst experience in Petaling Street. Nothing against Petaling Street. Don't hold me on this, but you know, sometimes those guys are really pushy. I wanted to buy this little Walkman back in the days. I didn't know the difference between how much and how many. Actually, I'm asking, how much is it? You know, and the guy goes like, "Oh, how many do you want?" Because what came out of my mouth was how many. You know, so I don't know the difference between how much and how many. That's how good my English was, lah.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
So if you notice why my English is very Malaysian English,
Yeah,
because
the English has Malaysian slang because you learn
I
it
learn
here.
I learn it here.
I see.
And I love it. Try to give me some accents. I can't come up with some
Wow.
Masale accent. No.
Because you were 19, so it's
Yeah.
difficult. I won't say impossible, but quite difficult to learn a new language when you're already that age.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, thankful for that, lah.
Okay. So, and how do you remain? How do you maintain a happy mood throughout?
Oh, right. Very good point. How do you remain in a happy mood?
Is it because after the spiritual journey, or before
Okay.
this you were not like this?
Well, good thing about me and my wife, we always had a positive outlook about life. Even when we were like deep shit in credit cards.
Okay.
Debts, okay? Somehow, I mean, I always say most of our friends who have known us for 20 years, they don't know this journey. They don't know what's happening behind the scenes. They see us as somebody happy, somebody we can go together for Teh Tarik. I even had a little band, music band back then. I used to play a bit of drum and all this and sing with my friends, Malaysian friends here. And none of them knew what was going on in our life, besides what they see in mama stores and in coffee shops. They didn't know that. And so one thing was, yes, we were very positive about life. But as I said, like, things were not happening, things were not working. So what really turned around when, to be very honest about it, when in 2003 a major change happened, I got hold of, I'll keep on mentioning my spiritual father. So what he did, which is in this book, he teaches us, what did the Bible say about money? Because that was our pain point, money. Right? No?
So you were making good money, right? Income.
It was good income. I mean, frankly speaking, I reached to my network was up and down, and then I stopped. All right, I stopped.
Network marketing.
Yes. For one company for a while, went to the other one. So I just had two companies which I was heavily involved, and then I stopped after that.
But good income.
It was good income, but was not stable, right? But then even before I did my Mr.Bean full time, right? Even my income then was pretty okay. We were doing things like trainings, market research, and consultancy. Okay.
For corporate training.
For a corporate company owned by one of my friends, an Albanian guy actually.
Oh, owned by him,
yes,
but you're the trainer.
Yes. I'm working there. I'm working there.
What's a field like? Leadership, sales?
My main focus was market research. So we used to do research for many big names out there, banks and other industries. And but because we do market research, so we know what's the problem with the client, so we become the trainer, so to say, or consultant and strategist. So I was doing that with my friend back then, but still under employment, but good income. I'm not saying it's not good. I mean,
how good?
5-figure, no problem.
Wow. Yeah. This was in the 2000 plus.
Yes.
Wow.
No problem.
Wow.
And but again, the debts are still there and stuff like that. So when my spiritual father started teaching us the truth about money based on the Bible teachings, and thank God my wife is very open as well, Olivia. So we just got hold of the truth.
So you were not Christian before?
No, I was not Christian before.
Your wife also not?
No.
In 2003, both of you?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And how did you encounter?
Well, we were going from one opportunity to another. Okay. So this was in one of the direct selling companies. They started a little meeting, a little Christian meeting, so to say, right? They started doing some prayers, and they sing songs to God and stuff like that. It was something very new to me. I'm like, you sing song to God? It's like very weird to me, okay? But curious enough, and I got into that. They said, come and check it out, So cut the story. That was the time I used to have that sinus problem, right? And these fellows, like every time after meeting, which is like once a week, right? They say, hey, let's pray for your sinus. I'm like, dude, how can you pray for my sinus? It's just, it's there kind of thing. So I didn't know what is like miracle healing and stuff like that. And, but as the time went by, right, it just disappeared. And I'm like, wow, that means those prayers somehow worked. It's just I didn't realize it, the power of it. Okay. So this was clear, but my money problem was not clear. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
Health, okay, but it's like I still have a cancer in my finances. So cut the story short, the years went by. Of course, go to church and stuff like that. I think it was the year 2007. Citytel Hotel, right? Okay. That's where I also recently met, I think you arranged recently and all this, a lot of events in Citytel. So we are going for a preview also to attend previews because we are like desperate. What other sources are there to earn money?
But you're already making money through property, right?
Yes, but it's not like, property money is long term. It's not on a monthly cash flow kind of business, right? That means I buy a property today, it's not even completed, there is no building,
and
right?
You are paying for it.
Correct. So I just pay the minimum down payment, stuff like that. And I have to wait to be completed. In between, I can't do much, right?
And you have to be able to flip it with a good price.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going for these previews out there. I meet another guy, which we know each other and attended the same preview, right? And suddenly he goes, hey, bro, by the way, because it's like Friday, and then it's a weekend. He said, tomorrow there is this guy, this pastor who is going to teach on biblical financial breakthrough. I'm like, oh, okay.
This
that's
cured
good.
my sinus, maybe.
Yeah, maybe this will, because this now is related to money, very specific. So, cut the story short, Saturday, went, and guess what? It was a direct selling office when this meeting was held.
Okay.
Okay, but nothing to do with health, was like jewelries and stuff like that. And so this...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's the name of the company?
I don't know now, unless they've changed name over, but I think Julian or something.
Okay.
Right? Julian? Yeah.
My
I was not doing it. I was
working in
not doing it, you know. And another guy was doing it.
Very
because,
expensive, right?
yeah, he offered the space for the meeting, right?
Okay.
Because this pastor was like a traveling pastor. He goes from one place to another. So we sat in that meeting, and what we hear was like shock to us, because we're already Christian for quite some time, right? But what he was sharing, and so boldly, and he was just telling us, he just hold his Bible and say, if you just do what this book says, he said, whatever problem you have financially is a done deal. Because there is nothing, or there is no higher authority than God. And this is the word of God, he said, and that's it. So somehow me and my wife, we were sitting on the front row, we are like, okay, I think we got to do this already. We are already in a bed. How worse can it get already, you know? I said, let's follow this. And that's when our life started turning around. So we were in a situation, I beg to be more specific, we were in a situation that every month, at the end of the month, there is always not enough, but suddenly applying the truth that the pastor was teaching us, right? Suddenly we realize that, my goodness, it's the same income, right? It's the same expenses, but still now you have balance. That was unexplainable, speaking naturally.
And can you reveal what are some of them? Because now I'm very intrigued. Like, how can you have the same income, same expense, but now you have more left?
Because there is a difference between being in the curse zone or being in the blessing zone. Okay? So it's like two different worlds, like night and day, right? So by applying truths, right? There is a verse in the Bible which I hold it very close to my heart. It says, and Jesus himself said it. He said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free." That means if I know the truth. So what is the truth about money? What's the truth about relationships? What's the truth about marriage, husband and wife? What's the truth about parenting? So if I know this truth, which comes directly from God, right? That means I'll be able to be set free in that area of my life that I'm struggling. So suddenly the truth was revealed to us, you know. So okay, when it comes to money, no matter what problem you face with your money, right? Honor God first, before anything else. Because you see, when I'm facing a problem, let's say this is my credit card problem, right? So I'm focusing on this. Salary come, my wife's salary come, or credit card problem, so let's take some money, put here. But you know, when you reach to 300,000, right, no matter how much you put, the interest is crazy. So it's like the problem is still there, but again, the focus is here. But now you see a new truth comes into my life. Now the money comes, he says, now with this money which comes in your hand, now you honor God first. But wait, God, wait, do you understand? I have credit card problem. He said, no. That one is a small problem. You honor me first, he says. So we started doing that.
Okay.
So we started doing that. We started honoring God first with our money. So everything started falling into place. Everything started falling into place. Especially couples, if you are listening. Because through our journey, right, a lot of couples come to us. You're not married yet, right?
and I intend to bring this interview to the relationship and family part later.
All right. Great.
But if you're going into that, you're welcome. Let's
go. I'm very concerned about couples' lives nowadays.
Okay.
I mean, regardless of their faith and religion. Because I noticed that one of the major issues that couples are facing nowadays is stress about money.